Hi everyone, and welcome back to Peter's Prism, where we look at aspects of daily living through a design lens and find ways to enhance our everyday. So far on this channel, I've talked about designing a personal uniform that reflects who you are and how your wardrobe needs to work for you. And I've also discussed how defining your personal style can go a long way to articulating who you are and how you want to present yourself to the world. Now, these things matter because you want to represent yourself in the most authentic way possible. Well, in this week's video, we're going to go a bit more meta and talk about your personal brand and how designing that with intention can go a long way to not only representing yourself authentically, but doing so in a way that will help differentiate you from others. Now, to help make this process a bit more tangible, I've created another fillable PDF which you can download through the link at the top of this video's description. The PDF contains everything I'll be discussing in the how-to section of this video, and hopefully will make all of this a lot less overwhelming. So let's get started. First off, let me clarify what I mean when I say your personal brand. Now, we've previously talked about how luxury fashion brands dedicate billions of dollars to create an intangible idea of what their brands stand for. Through advertising, marketing, social media, and many other channels, they are able to carefully craft these ideas and bring them to fruition so that customers make emotional and intellectual connections to their brands. A personal brand isn't too far off from this. Just like companies that are trying to define their brands to customers, designing your personal brand with intention will help you to express who you are and what you stand for to those who matter to you. And when I say what you are, I'm talking about your skills, experiences, and personality. And when I say what you stand for, I'm talking about your values and how you express them. It may be helpful to take a look at a couple of well-known individuals to get a better sense of how this plays out. You may know Gary Vaynerchuk. He's well known for having a high-energy approach to entrepreneurship and digital marketing, promoting hustle culture and constant learning. And anyone who's heard of Vaynerchuk, I think, would agree with that assessment. The thing is, his personal brand has evolved from primarily being known as a wine expert and connoisseur to being this brash and prominent figure in the digital marketing space, all while maintaining a consistent image of authenticity and relentless hustle. And this is not by accident. Mark Manson is famous for his self-improvement content and best-selling books, and he consistently presents himself as a voice of authenticity and practicality as it relates to navigating life's challenges. He's effectively built a strong personal brand around his own perspectives. Having been featured in more than 50 newspapers, magazines, and television shows has enabled him to ensure consistency in how he appears to his audiences. And his brand encompasses everything from courses, live events, speaking engagements, and a YouTube channel with more than 2.5 million subscribers. Every one of these avenues is an opportunity for Manson to ensure that whenever his name is brought up, the audience understands immediately who he is and what he's about. So, getting back to what a personal brand is, it needs to entail a clear selling proposition. What is the unique thing about your skills and beliefs that you can offer to others you want to reach? A clearly defined audience or audiences. This can be anyone from senior management at your company to social media consumers, even your own circle of friends. Consistent messaging. Defining the details of your voice and your story and ensuring that remains consistent across all platforms. Strategy. Once you know who you're trying to reach, you need to define the parameters of how you're going to reach them. We'll talk more about this in the how-to section coming up, but feel free to skip ahead using the timestamp below. Now, who is all of this for, or why is this necessary? It's really for anyone who might not be sure what their personal brand is, or how it's perceived. A couple of scenarios might help illustrate the need a little bit more clearly. Let's say you're a freelancer or you run your own business or consultancy. You need to be able to sell yourself to clients or audiences in a way that's compelling and sets you apart from the competition. Or you might be a social media influencer or a content creator, and you're trying to represent yourself authentically, but also aspirationally. You might be an employee at a company, and you're concerned about getting a promotion or being considered for a pay raise. Again, you not only want to be considered, you want senior management to think about you in the best way possible. And this can really apply to anyone who is looking to open the door to new opportunities. It could be as simple as wanting a boost in self-confidence, or to better understand yourself in order to stand out to your friends and family. Now, before I get into the nitty-gritty of how to approach this, I want to let you know that I'm actually in the process of doing this myself. I wanted to better understand how my personal brand is being perceived by friends and colleagues, and so what I did was send a very short and anonymous form asking them for their thoughts about who I am and what I'm about. Their responses were overall very positive, thank you, but also pretty revealing. Most of the comments focused on style or sense of fashion, but I was kinda sad that I didn't see much about my actual ability to design, as a designer. And as I've mentioned in the past, I've been a designer and art director in many facets for more than 25 years, and the fact that this is missing from my personal brand was a little disappointing. Does this mean I'm superficially style obsessed and can't design my way out of a paper bag? Of course not. But what it does mean is that if I want my presence as a designer to become part of my personal brand, I need to be an active participant in making that happen. Designing your personal brand is a whole lot like any other design exercise, so you can't expect it to just instantly appear out of thin air. Be prepared to do some thinking, writing, and sketching. And don't forget to download the PDF through the link in this video's description. It'll really help you get through this a lot faster. So first, spend some time doing some hard self-reflection. Understand your strengths and values. What are you passionate about? What skills do you excel at? What are your core beliefs? And define your unique selling proposition. What sets you apart from others in your field? Conduct a target audience analysis. Who are you trying to reach? These could be general audiences like peers, coworkers, or senior leadership, and it can also be specific companies you aspire to work for someday. Also identify their needs and interests. What problems do they face? What information are they looking for? This is important because if your brand doesn't deliver a problem they want to solve, you instantly become less visible. The third column is about articulating aspects of your brand. Creating a consistent brand persona means you need to define your tone and personality. That might already be abundantly clear to you, but don't take it for granted that others see you the same way. Write it down as a reminder that how you carry this out needs to reflect this tone. Craft your brand story. Think of this as your elevator pitch. How can you convey who you are and what you're about in the most succinct way possible? And lastly, consider developing a visual identity. Things like colors, fonts, and imagery will make up how assets like your website, blog, whatever, align with your brand. Next is your content strategy. The audiences you're trying to reach will really dictate what this content strategy is going to look like. So choose relevant platforms. It might seem obvious, but if you're trying to gain professional visibility, for example, it makes much more sense to focus on LinkedIn and not TikTok or Instagram. Websites or blogs are highly valuable for people like me who want to showcase their creative output. And the type of content you want to focus on should be extremely intentional. Think about what your audiences need and the problems they face and how your content addresses those needs. Think broadly. Blog posts, videos, podcasts. There are tons of formats you want to consider depending on how your audience consumes it. Lastly, post with consistency. This is not a once and done deal. Regularity fosters familiarity, and that's the end goal here. The last two columns will help you identify engagement and networking opportunities, and a reminder that all of this effort needs to be monitored to really maximize the impact you're trying to achieve. Look for ways to interact with your audiences. responding to comments on social media platforms, requesting informational interviews with companies you'd like to work for, attending industry events. These are all ways to gain more visibility and to ensure that the effort you're putting in has as much impact as possible. And finally, monitor everything you're doing from time to time. Set up reminders to check on whatever analytics are available to you. You might keep tabs on things like website traffic, social media engagement, views on Medium articles, etc. And as it's relevant, study these analytics and create an action plan in order to improve engagement. I really do hope this was helpful in some ways. Even if you're not ready to sit down and go through the process of creating a personal brand, it's not a bad idea to think about this from time to time, to find opportunities that highlight aspects about yourself that might be missing from the bigger picture. Whether you're looking for a new job or on your way to becoming the next Mr. Beast, a well-defined personal brand will definitely help you achieve that goal. What are your thoughts about personal branding? What can be improved about yours, and how are you going to go about doing it? Drop a comment below and share some ideas. Thank you again for watching this video and being a part of this community. Until next time, stay stylish and remember, design is there to elevate our lives if we let it. Bye!